Headphones are right there for you. Once we're all sort of in our places, yours are back there, Eric. I just don't want Danny to trip up in them.
Really?
I'm Amy, and I'm a music producer, recording engineer at Grand Avenue. Been for 13 years now. Every day is so different. You know, you do everything from make coffee to make songs, so it's really hard to describe. You guys have been around for some of the band stuff that we do, so generally my role there is setting up for a session, running a smooth session, getting sounds, getting them quickly, and just making everybody comfortable so that we get a good performance. Other times you work with someone who'll come in with just an idea in their head, so your job is to take that idea and turn it into something that can be heard, which is kind of neat. Take an intangible thought and make it something somewhat tangible.
Straight to my love is hard for me. Yeah, nobody but me. Cupid, please hear my cry and get your arrow fly.
Well, I've been a musician since I was 4. That's when I started my piano lessons. I took trumpet when I was 7. Took up bass when I was 14, and when I was 17 I started working with Ian Thomas with a folk group which was signed to RCA. I walked into a studio, which there was only big studios back then, and the minute I walked in the control room and heard the speakers, I went, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
1, 2, 3. Well, my experience here is fantastic. I've been here for many years, played on lots of different sessions, and it's one of my favorite places to make music, for sure.
They do a really good job of getting people ready to play right away. So there are a lot of other studios where you come in and it's a hurry up and wait kind of environment, where you come in and it's, oh yeah, downbeats 11 a.m. and you go in and it's 12:30 and there's no coffee. There's, where's my biscuits? Not that I'm a diva or anything, but, it's just nice to be able to walk into a room and just know that if 11 a.m. means 11 a.m. They're really very vigilant about keeping everybody focused and yet relaxed at the same time. So it's awesome.
Don't you be using all your money on syrup and honey, because baby, I'm sweet enough.
My experience here at Grant Ave, when I was in college, I came here in my 3rd year and I did a recording with Adrian Ferrugia, and we did a full-length album, and I sold it at my grad recital. So I've worked with Amy before, and it's been a wonderful experience.
When I finished a recording course in Stony Creek, I sent out 142 resumes. Bob Doidge called me back, and a rap studio in Brampton called me back, so I had no question about where I wanted to do an internship. So I started here in 2002, and my timing was good because at that time they were finishing up an album for Gordon Lightfoot, and he had taken sick, so he was in the hospital, and they needed some good help to finish that project. So it was all, I guess, kind of just a good timing thing on my part to be around at that time, and then you just make yourself indispensable. So I started, assisting and working with all sorts of really great local talent and guys from Toronto and things like that. So, and then after a while you build up your own client base and people that are a little more comfortable working with you, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. Had the opportunity to go to other places, and I don't want to leave. This is my home.
Every month something happens in here that gives me a shiver, and I suspect that's somewhat what I'm addicted to, because I love doing this. I've always loved doing this. So regardless of whether the person's famous or just starting out, the memorable moments are really just that song that passes by and it's so good, you've captured something, as opposed to rehearsing it and it's great. I've always got the machine in record. The rehearsal is in record, everything's in record. And more rehearsals become records simply because when they're running it down, there's no pressure. They're just running it down, but they get into it.
And I think of all the things that you do.
what makes Grand Avenue unique and special, aside from the history and the heritage of the building, which is really important not only to the music community of Hamilton, but to the country, our focus right now is on the artists that are going to be here in the future. And a lot of people still come here because of that heritage, but I think one of the things that really sets us apart is, like I was saying before, about removing the separation between producer, engineer, and the artist. We try whatever we can to be friends and come together and work together and make everybody comfortable. So I think a lot of the people come here because it just feels like home.